Happy Sunday, guys. So let me ask you this. How do you handle the price objection? So you get to the close and the customer tells you that the price is too expensive. That's a big, big objection. I would think that's probably my number one objection that I get on the telephone. Well, today I want to share with you guys, our approach, how I train agents on how to close as many as possible on the first time you get them on the telephone. Because guess what? It's not just a matter of seeing how many you can close in the shortest amount of time because you don't want to, sell something that falls off the books faster than you can write it. So you got to keep them on the phones, but how do you close them at a higher percentage? Well, let me share with you guys my thoughts and again, how I sell and how I train agents as well. The number one thing that I discovered many years ago when I started selling over the telephones was that, price was a number one issue. But one of the things that I was trained on early on is that I was given a script and I was given basically a packet of objections and responses to those objections. And basically, as I was going through my script, and I would hear that objection, then I would follow it with the exact response that I trained for. And I did that for about 2 years and I lost. I'd make money, lose money. Why? Because my cost per acquisition was very high. So, what is it that I discovered? So, this is basically what I discovered after thousands of presentations over the telephone. I discovered again that price was the number one issue, but all these other objections really didn't matter. I also realized that when you look at the world of final expense, it's much different than auto insurance, health insurance, where if a customer's shopping around for health insurance, he can get, 10 different quotes, comparisons, or more because of how many companies are out there. No different than auto insurance. But with final expense, I discovered that there's a small group of companies that offer final expense. And then within that small group, they're really not much of a difference. So final expense is not that type of product that you shop around per se. People are buying peace of mind. And when I realized that, and it took me several years, I realized that one, I had done the underwriting correctly when the person called into the ad. And if I did the underwriting correctly, then I got the best possible rates based on their health. And if they didn't pick an option, I was going to suggest the lowest one. That's right. Regardless of the objection, what I discovered many years ago was that my best bet to getting closer to closing out the application was to suggest the lowest of the three that I presented. And if you guys would like to see that, I've posted the training in the comment section, both in Spanish and in English, and you can see how that breaks down. It's completely free. I've given my training out for years to others like yourself that are looking for something to help you increase your closing ratios. And I encourage you to try it out. Again, regardless of what the objection is, when I ask for the close on the first time and they don't pick an option, we're going to suggest the lowest of the three. Why? Because I know there's not much room for shopping around. It's final expense. Think about it. Think about if you have somebody that the company that you're working for is offering a graded. And you might be able to get them a better policy with another company, but that the odds are slim to none. So there's really not much room where you can offer a total different rate change or better guarantees. Why? Because most of these insurance products are all around the same. They treat these conditions pretty much the same. And the ones that are very, very inexpensive in terms of rates, sooner or later, they exit the marketplace like what we've seen before. So again, we don't have a whole lot of room to play Mr. Broker or Mr. I'm shopping for you. Again, people are looking for peace of mind. And what I've discovered is that regardless of what the objection is, I always acknowledge them. I ignore it and I continue with my suggestion. For example, thank you for sharing that with me, Mr. Jones. And that's okay. You know, a lot of folks have felt that way. But here's what I want to suggest that we do. And I encourage you guys to check out the training so you can see it verbatim how it is that we do it. And it works, it's effective because instead of sitting there and having a debate where you're presenting all of these, responses to the objection with a different logical response. And instead of doing that, where you create confusion, you create more questions, you create more, uncertainty, suggesting the lowest one of the three is the easiest way to set them up with some insurance today. And at a later date, you can always increase the coverage, not to mention ask for referral business. Look, for years, I did it just like that. I would get an objection and I'd hit him over the head with the 10 best responses that I had. And when I switched my thinking to suggesting the lowest of the three, I saw a 30% increase in my closes the first time I said hello. Major numbers. So it's very simple. If you follow it and if you have the script in place, and when you get to the close, you're going to find that a lot of people, if they give you an objection and you suggest the lowest option, you're going to find that a lot more people say yes to it. And then what happens if after you suggest the lowest, they still give you resistance or they give you a new objection? Check out the training. Again, it's free. If you go to the comment section, I got it in Spanish and in English. And it's about an hour of training. It's my work that I do every single day. And it's the training that I provide to my agents. And I got agents writing over 20% conversions every time they say hello. Others doing 40, 50% every time they say hello. Because one thing is selling and the other thing is closing. So I hope that helps you like it helped me. Try it out. Tell me what you think. It is effective. Peace.